Someday, somewhere, someone will listen to me.
Welcome to the ManCave.
Hey everyone. Oh, a million years ago when I was a young lad, I went to go see this movie. Um, Never Say Never Again featured the return of Sean Connery in his iconic role of James Bond. And there's a whole history about the significance of this movie and the Bond legacy whenever, but just enough to say that he came back. And while watching this movie, I saw this guy, and he was playing Phyllis Leiter. And I remember as a young person sitting in the movie theater thinking, was Phyllis Leiter black? And the reason why I felt that way is because up to that point, whenever the character appeared in a movie, a new actor portrayed them. He's never been portrayed by the same person until this guy came along. He was just one more. So I couldn't really remember at that age. We didn't have all this instant recall of the internet and everything back in the olden days. And it's ironic that the first time he was played by the same actor more than once, that actor was African American. But now today we got something else to be all upset about because that's how it goes. Recently, a second trailer for the new Harry Potter movie or TV show has been released, and there's a number of steals and everything. And first of all, this is not. I don't have any skin in this game. No dog in this hunt. I've never been a Harry Potter fan. Never read any books. I saw one of the movies once, and it was just like, okay, I can see how kids will like this, but I'd aged out, or how I perceive myself as aging out. And I just never got into it. So I don't come from this from a position of, I think this, I think that. I'm just reading the terrain. Quite frankly, I don't know why they've made this thing. The Harry Potter is still very much in our lexicon. There is books that are still on shelves. TV show, the movies come on quite frequently on stuff like TNT, and I'm sure some streaming service has it or can have it. This is not a property that has faded away so much that we need a new one. And they're going to do some different things. Like, from what I understand, each season of this TV show is going to be one book, so 1 year of the time at the school, the magic school, whatever it's called, Hogwarts. And, so the plan is to be 6, 7 year, seasons long. Okay, I'm sure one of the things is that it'll be able to add more stuff from the books that was left out in the movies. And, that's fine. But I still wonder, who is this for? Who's asking for this? And one of the reasons why I asked who is this for is that um this. Now, this is Snoke or Snake or whatever his name is, and he was portrayed by a white actor who is, among other things, known for his legendary role in the original Die Hard, and he clearly doesn't look like this. And I don't know who is requesting this character be race swapped. And I have said many times, even given the how I started this video with the mention of Never Say Never Again, I've always felt that, and I'll always be against race swapping and gender swapping. And I have numerous reasons, but not the least of which is that's not the author's original intent. And I feel like you should honor the author's original intent when you're making movies and TV shows, whatever, based on original property as much as possible. That's just how I feel. I also feel like switching races, switching genders, switching whatever is just saying everybody's the same, just plug and play. And yes, we all have certain characteristics and we all should be treated equally and fairly, but the experience of an African American is different than the experience of a Jewish American or for someone from another country. And just switching around for convenience sakes, I'm not like this. And quite frankly, the most important reason to me is it doesn't give authors like myself the opportunity to present our works because we're so busy competing with other things. It's bad enough I got other African American characters to compete with. Now I got to compete with white characters becoming black. So that's my personal reason. Personal, if you don't feel that way, if you long for Wolverine or whoever to be black, more power to you. I'm just not with that. And another of the reasons is the reaction so far from the internet. People are all upset about that this guy has been portrayed by somebody else. And seeing videos about people pointing out that in the book, J.K. Rowling has made it a point that this guy is, pasty white and skin like sour milk and all that kind of stuff. And, first of all, to that I say, he's not a real person. It's just make believe. So, I don't know why we're suddenly so hanging on every word. But by my own admission, I said I think that you should honor the wishes of the author. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't. What I meant in my previous comments, like I don't see why people are so upset about this. But whatever. That's what you. That's the hill you want to die on. Whatever. But people are reacting this way. People are upset, and I don't know who this is for. The liberal crowd may want a African American character be portrayed, but they're so mad at J.K. Rowling with her alleged statements, and I don't follow it that well. I'm just hearing what other people repeat about transgenderism and how she feels about that. They're all against her, and she's against all this, and I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. But the other hand, I don't think the conservative bunch is going to be that excited about it just because it's a black guy playing a white role. I don't know who's demanding this. I don't know why the people who made this, who was behind this, decided let's go this route. I don't know what itch they were trying to scratch with that. And I think that's a common problem today in our mass media. It's just like, who is this for? Who are you trying to satisfy with this? Or more importantly, are you just trying to make people angry by somebody black? I mean, what does that accomplish? We just went through this kind of thing, you know, same song, different verse was Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. I find myself talking about it so much, not so much because I hated it as much as many people did. I didn't like it, but I find it is almost like a case study as what not to do. And this is another example. Why would you make this character black? I mean, what end are you serving? What how are you making better? I mean, I just don't get it in general, and this in particular doesn't make any sense. You want black characters? There's a whole shelf of them behind me. And seriously, I mean, I wrote these books. These are my series, the Urban Knights series, and I have no idea why we can't. Not necessarily this in particular, but if anybody's listening, I'm open to phone calls. My contacts are in the links. But I don't understand why we can't use existing characters that are actually created by African Americans. We always want to jump to the front of the line by stealing somebody else's character. And that's what I feel like about it. The guy's white, he's white. Make a black character. I mean, it's a fictional thing. Write the guy out and say this is his colleague from another school or whatever. I mean, you can do it. You have so many options in fiction. I don't understand why we got a race swap. But these are, African American characters created by me, an African American, and it's a series of detective novels set in Detroit. Give me a call. Let's go with this kind of stuff. I don't understand why we have to just piss people off because you want to make a point. I really don't see the point. Why you would do that? You're just making fans angry, and we can always see in the case study I cited, the Starfleet Academy is already been canceled. Why would you go down that same path? But that's just me. That's what I think. I really question why we even need this. This Harry Potter is still with us. We still see him. There's the books are still available. There's the movies aren't that old. I think it wouldn't be a block to younger viewers watching it. There's the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that you could actually visit. There's the Fantastic Beasts series. I mean, this is not nothing that we need to just, okay, now we need to do another Harry and just not even tell new stories, just tell the same stories over again. But what do you guys think? This is my 2 cents. I'm not really dying on this hill because this is not my generation or my cup of tea, as it were. But, I don't know why you would just make something just to upset the fan base. But if you see it differently, comment below.